Welcome back. Let's find out if anything we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Greg. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Herman Cain faces sexual harassment allegations, and you said Politico mimeographed the charges against Clarence Thomas. Who says mimeograph?
I do.
I don't think most of our viewers even know what that means.
It was, well, the, what would you say, Xerox?
Yeah, that's better.
Mimeograph sounds more fun.
Copied and pasted.
That's so many more syllables. You are deep down a liberal. The politically correct phrase is always more syllables.
It's not politically
just
correct.
say black. It has to be African American.
It's more accurate, Dan. We're looking for accuracy here. We were going for accuracy. Gavin, I agree with you that the definition of sexual harassment has gotten completely out of control. But that said, if these things were alleged and settlements were made, which appears to be the case, is it still a story or is it not a story?
It's not a story because they all get settled because no one wants to bother going to court.
Okay. But is there anything factually wrong with the Politico story?
I don't know what camera I'm supposed to look at.
There's a TV over there.
Sorry, what was the question?
I don't remember.
Yeah, look, these guys get fired, they lose their bank accounts, they lose their careers. Sometimes it's easier just to give 10 grand to an evil, psycho woman who is taking advantage of a law that was made for people who are victims, and now that they get the power, they do exactly what the men were doing.
Right. And that may well be the case here, but it also may well not be the case. We don't know.
Oh, yes, we do.
Oh, we know. That's the problem with sexual harassment. These frivolous cases have ruined the whole term. And now women who are genuinely sexually harassed, no one believes them anymore.
I would just like to point out when the two women in question decide to sue Gavin and Ann, to point out that I said that may not be the case. That's all I was doing there. Greg, as you mentioned at the National Press Club Monday afternoon, Cain said he was unaware of any settlements that might have been paid to either of the women. Bill, you thought it was weird that a CEO wouldn't be aware of the settlement. A couple things. A lawyer who specializes in sexual harassment claims tells the New York Times that it's not uncommon for an accused exec to stay out of the process of the investigation, but it, quote, completely defies credulity that he wouldn't know any of the details of how things were resolved. And Monday night on the record, Cain told Greta that he believed one woman got a settlement of 2 or 3 months' pay. So suddenly he remembered that he was aware of the settlement.
No, he didn't know the details is all he's saying. It was from nearly 20 years ago.
No, this afternoon he didn't, and tonight, earlier tonight, he remembered that one of the women got a settlement of either 2 or 3 months' pay.
Yeah, I think it's been in the news. He might have checked.
No, it hasn't. He was the first one to say that. It hadn't been in the news.
What do you mean he was the first one to say
He was the first one to say that she got a settlement of he remembers that it was 2 or 3 months.
With the people who did the settlement. He might want to look it up.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He said he remembered. He specifically said he
calls the lawyer and says, what did you pay that woman?
And he specifically said he remembered.
What do you mean he specifically said he
didn't say, I checked with the lawyers and I got some more facts. He said, I remember.
Again, more syllables.
This is exactly what it was like at home before you guys got divorced.
Andy,
amazing.
Andy, I feel the same way. It was difficult for me. Yeah. Oh, now I'm looking here.
Yeah.
I thought if we brought you two together.
No.
It might work again.
We cried when they sat us down and they said we're going to see other people for a while. We went, no. Now I'm glad.
And I wanted to live with him. And I thought it would be better. It wasn't.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't.
Of course they were right. They're adults.
He couldn't cook.
I don't even know who you're talking about at this point.
When you two were married and we had popcorn for dinner every night.
Yeah? What's the problem with that?
It's fattening.
Whatever. It was fake. It was fake butter. Bill, you said, can we stop with the phrase witch hunt, which I kind of agree with. Also, high-tech lynching is really annoying.
Oh, yeah. That's another one.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Why isn't high-tech?
Oh, shut up. Let's move on.
Because they used to use ropes, now they use word processors.
Or mimeographs.
And mimeographs.
Yeah.
From the Clarence Thomas charges, it is ironic that civil rights laws were designed to protect blacks from Democrats. Now Democrats are using the civil rights laws to attack conservative voters.
It's amazing to me that there are conservatives now that have absolutely no problem playing the race card.
It happens to be true.
Absolutely amazing to me.
It happens to be true. Why? What? It was just at random that Anita Hill attacked the most.
Rightly complain about it when it's used against them, and then they turn around, and it was the same thing with Sarah Palin. They'll play the gender card. There's a whole bunch of conservatives out there that suddenly have no problem doing it, even though they complain when it's done against them.
I'm not a fan of racism when there's actual racism. When they say our opposition to Obamacare is, ooh, because Obama's black, yeah, that's BS. When they go after Clarence Thomas because they want to keep a pro-life justice off the Supreme Court who happens to be black, when their only defense to this rotten president, Obama, is, oh, Republicans are racist, and then bring these nonsense charges, the same thing that Democrats in the South accused blacks of for 100 years, ooh, the over-sexual black man. And they turn around 100 years later, do the exact same thing. This is a high-tech
So you're saying, so Politico would not have written this story if Herman Cain were white?
I think they were after, yes, I think they were after him for that.
That is just the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life, Anne. Seriously?
Really? Why didn't Alito or Scalia get accused by Anita
Politico
Hill?
would not have written this. You're saying straight up, Politico would not have written this story if Herman Cain were white?
I'm saying horrible, angry, and feminist women hate conservative black men because they can't accuse us of racism for supporting, you know, pro-life positions or supporting Herman Cain over Obama. Yeah, coincidentally, the two utterly innocent conservatives who have been falsely accused of being sexual aggressors are both conservative blacks. Andy Levy.
Okay.
May I offer a theory?
What?
By the way, liberal smear merchant Jonathan Martin, the co-writer of the Politico article, used to write about politics for National Review, which really confuses me.
You can't imagine I am a fan of National Review.
No. I wasn't saying that to you. It confuses me in general. Rick Perry, Gavin, you think Perry had been drinking? Greg, you mentioned Ambien. I think that's straight up Xanax.
No, you guys don't hang on enough alcoholics. There's little things you do with your hands, and you go, woo, and you know what I mean?
I don't know.
I've been around
That was
alcoholics
impressive,
my
by the
whole
way.
life. They love metaphors, and and then walking in, and they said, what are you doing? There's a lot of yelling. And I went, whoa. That was booze.
He is absolute thumbs up.
Yeah, well, I stand corrected, I guess. Kim Kardashian getting divorced. And you said you don't see why they couldn't be like the Clintons and keep the scam marriage going, because now she can do this again, make another $8 million.
Good point.
Yeah. And just lastly on this Get Your Freak On Girl TSA employee, well, two things. Greg and Gavin, you both assume the employee's a guy. Bill, I'm with you. I think this was a female employee showing her solidarity with the passenger.
Thank you. You know what? They were both sexually empowered.
Yes. And the other thing is, and you're correct, the employee hasn't been fired yet. The TSA says it intends to fire the worker after he or she is given a chance to appeal, which makes me think they don't plan on the appeal going very well for her.
But the story is also a week old. I mean, if this were a private enterprise and not a unionized government worker or service, the employee would have been out like that.
No, you're right. There's a whole appeals process that has to be gone through because of that. You're absolutely right.
Anytime someone intends to fire me, they do it. That's all I know. So intend might as well mean the real thing. Yeah.
Back to you, Greg.
That is true. I've never been. No one's ever intended to fire me.
I've never had a higher up look at me like, I intend to do this, but here's a raise.
All right, you caught me scratching my head. Thank you, Andy. Oh, he's already gone. Coming up, more crud for the crud hamper that is your brain. So, yeah, you guys are slow tonight. What's Red Eye doing at a Halloween-themed pet fashion show? More like what it's not doing, which is finding true love.